So you want to know if this paddle is as good as everyone is saying it is. And I'm here to answer that. But we also have the question of, could Body Helix's newly released F1 Terracore XC paddle be the power foam paddle everyone has been asking for? In this review, we will dive into that, but before we do, it would mean a lot if you could hit the subscribe button down below, as it means a lot for the growth of this channel. Also, quick disclaimer, Body Helix did provide me with this test unit, but all thoughts in this video are my own as always. With that out of the way, let's jump into some specs. The new FLIK paddle comes in one shape for now, which is elongated. It comes in at 16 millimeters. This is definitely classified as a power paddle. This paddle has a foam core design with a similar added fiberglass square in the middle of the paddle. The surface type of this paddle is 4 layers of carbon fiber and 1 layer of fiberglass. The handle length is 5.3 inches. The swing weight came in at 114 with a twist weight of 6.1 and a static weight of 7.9 ounces. The retail price of this paddle is $190, but you can use my affiliate link down in the description to save some money at checkout, and it does go a long way for supporting my channel. The new FLIK Terracore paddle is one of the hardest hitting paddles on the market. The first thing I thought of when I picked up this paddle is that we now have the new version of the Mod TA15, but with a foam core. Now, this paddle is not going to heat up or theoretically break like the mod did, but the initial feel and power felt very familiar to me of a brand new mod. The spring this paddle has is next level, and it certainly is a lot to handle. My first few games, I was missing a lot of balls long, especially on my returns. But my serves and drives were strong, and I felt like I had a pretty good control of my launch angles a couple games in. The surface of this paddle is also very gritty, and I felt like I was getting a very good dip on my topspin shots. I definitely found myself wanting to play a more aggressive game with this paddle, especially with any ball that was above the net at the kitchen. My dinks and soft game actually felt very comfortable, which is likely because I have a lot of time on my Proton Flamingo this year, and these felt very similar when dinking. The most exciting element of this paddle is its feel and feedback. It feels much more familiar to Gen 2 and Gen 3 poly honeycomb paddles. So those who are not the biggest fan of the Diadem Blue cores or the Selkirk Labs 008 paddles should be happy with this new paddle from Body Helix. The main area that was more difficult with this paddle was my drops and tuis. The layer of fiberglass plus the high power of this paddle to begin with did lead to several pop-ups, as the face of this paddle can be somewhat inconsistent at times with its spring. And when I say spring, I do mean pop, but with this paddle, for some reason, spring just feels like the better word to use. This spring definitely led to some lost points, but I do think it could be reined in if you are used to poppy paddles. Some negatives could also be said with the handle only coming in at 5.3 inches, which I was actually able to get up to 5.4 inches when I wrapped an overgrip over the handle myself. Very similar to the Proton Flamingo, you are able to wrap it just a little bit higher up the throat to get that longer handle, but this is still slightly shorter than most elongated paddles on the market. Tuis are definitely doable, and it is workable, especially with that workaround of wrapping it just a little bit higher, but this is something that I wanted to note. The new FLIK F1 is the best elongated foam core paddle on the market so far this year. It hits hard, it spins well, and it's so fun to play with. I know a lot of pickleball players have been looking for a new fun power paddle, and I think the new FLIK paddle is the answer. Now, I do not think that this is the best all-around power paddle on the market, but with the foam core not being able to crush, that is a huge plus when it comes to durability, and that should definitely be a factor when considering purchasing this paddle. If you like to play an aggressive, fast game, I think this is a great recommendation for you. However, if you play more of a slower, soft touch game, there are definitely some better foam options on the market right now that I would suggest before the FLIK F1, but that doesn't mean you can't have a good time or control this paddle either. All in all, I really love this paddle, and I will continue to have it in my bag for the months to come. Thanks for watching my review on Body Helix's new power paddle. And if you have any questions for me, feel free to drop those down below in the comments. Other than that, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.